Our topic of discussion is anastomosis around scapula. Around scapula. Suppose this is scapula. This is spine of scapula. Spine of scapula continues as acromion process of scapula, and this one is coracoid process of scapula. And suppose this is humerus. If we want to draw the anastomosis around the scapula, then first of all हमने सबसे पहले ये ना दो लाइंस ड्रा करनी है, ठीक है ना। अब हमने इंसर्कल करना है, मतलब इस तरह ये लाइन ड्रा करनी है जो कि इन दो पॉइंट्स को भी आपस में मिला दें, और उसके साथ साथ ही स्पाइन ऑफ स्कैपुला को भी इंसर्कल कर दें यहाँ तक। उसके बाद क्या करना है, उसके बाद हमने क्या करना है, वी विल हैव टू ड्रा दैट अ डब्ल्यू। ओके, अब इसके बाद जो है ना हमने क्या बना देना है, नीचे एक पत्ता बना दें, ये पत्ता शेप। नीचे हमने क्या एक पत्ते की शेप बना दें नीचे। ओके, और अब यहाँ पर ना यहाँ से ये हो गया, ऐसे ऐसे कर देना, यहाँ से ऐसे, ठीक है। ठीक हो गया। सो अगर लेबल करें तो दिस इज सुप्रास्कैपुलर आर्टरी, दिस इज deep branch of transverse cervical, this is circumflex scapular, this is posterior circumflex humeral artery, and this is all this is thoracoacromial artery. This is again the suprascapular artery. So if you want to remember all these of arteries in a proper sequence, then remember our mnemonic डाकुम को टाई से पकड़ो। सुप्रास्कैपुलर आर्टरी, सबसे सुप्रास्कैपुलर आर्टरी, डीप ब्रांच ऑफ transverse cervical artery, C for circumflex scapular artery, T for thoracoacromial artery, C for again suprascapular, and P for posterior circumflex humeral artery. Okay, so this is anastomosis around scapula, and this is anastomosis around acromion process of scapula. Out of the The anastomosis around the scapula is actually in between the first part of subclavian artery and third part of first part of subclavian artery and third part of axillary artery. Both of these arteries, suprascapular artery and deep branch of transverse cervical artery, arises from first part of subclavian. And circumflex scapular artery, we know that is a branch of subscapular artery which arises from third part of axillary artery. So anastomosis around scapula is in between first part of subclavian artery and third part of axillary artery. If we talk about the anastomosis around the acromion process, so thoracoacromial artery is a branch of second part of axillary artery. Suprascapular artery is branch of first part of subclavian artery. Posterior circumflex femoral artery arises from the third part of axillary artery. So anastomosis around this is anastomosis around the acromion process. This is anastomosis around scapula. This is anastomosis around scapula. This is anastomosis around acromion process. So anastomosis around the acromion process is in between the second part of axillary artery and first part of subclavian artery. And this is second part of axillary artery. Anastomosis around acromion process is in between the second part of axillary artery and third part of axillary artery and first part of subclavian artery. The anastomosis around scapula is in between the first part of subclavian artery and third part of axillary artery. Okay, thank you.